All right. We are live on YouTube. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us already. Let's see. What have we got here? Having in the chat. Go ahead and put in the chat where you are joining us from. And let me oops. There was something that just came up that I needed to deal with. And I don't know what it is. So we're all good. Oh, I know what I was looking for. I'm gonna put that link to your masterclass in here. All right, we have folks from Ontario, Canada, Denmark, UK, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Norway, Dublin, India, Macedonia. Awesome, awesome. I love it when people are joining us from around the world because, when we're tapping, we're clearing what isn't peace. And God knows we can clear out some stuff that isn't peace around the world. So we're so
Amen to
grateful
that.
that we're so grateful that you guys are joining us for this. I am very pleased to be joined today for this new episode of Tag Team Tapping by my dear friend Melanie Moore. Uh, Mel and I go back quite a ways. At least 10 years, because
Yes.
the Richmond event in 2015. And then we've done a number of events together, some onlines, the Big Vision event with some other friends of ours. And so I am delighted to be doing Tag Team Tapping with you. So thanks for being here, Mel.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And of course, this time I get to wear the t-shirt because last time I got my Tap with Brad t-shirt on because I'm tapping with Brad, so I have to wear a Tap with Brad t-shirt.
And Mel didn't tell me she was doing that because otherwise I would have worn my Tap with Mel t-shirt. These were made for us by our friend Alex Garus, who Alex is in Moscow and hosted me when I did workshops. I did some EFT workshops in Moscow back in 2019. And he made up these Tap with Brad t-shirts as just merchandise for the event. And then he had some fun with them, and he made some with Mel, and he made some with his picture on Tap with Alex. So we have a picture. He came out to San Francisco, and I gave him a tour of San Francisco, and we have a picture of us with the bay with the Golden Gate Bridge behind us, and the city of San Francisco behind us, and we each have our shirts on of Tap with Brad and Tap with Alex. Um, so anyhow, I
And
thank you
last
for
time we were together on YouTube Live, you wore your Tap with Mel, and I felt terrible that I didn't have the Tap with Brad t-shirt on. So that's why I'm wearing mine today. Anyway, enough of
there we
tap
go.
t-shirts. Uh,
Thank you for representing. I appreciate, and now I can forgive you because of the resentment that I've held since that time when, you know.
but I didn't wear your t-shirt. Oh, funny.
All right. So Mel, what are we tapping on today? What is the topic of today's tag team tapping?
Well, I thought, for my own kind of selfish purposes, um, when else am I going to get to tap with Brad? And I thought this would make a really good topic. It's something I'm going through at the moment. And incidentally, it's actually what I help other people with as well. But you know what it's like when you go through it yourself as well. It's always nicer to clear it with other professionals. It's all about the next chapter of your life. And because I think I often talk about when we go through, we do. Our lives are one great big open-ended book, and we go through a series of chapters. And for me, the chapter that's coming to the end for me is no longer being the parent to children. My daughter turns 18 next month. She'll be going to university in September, all being well. And I'm going to have an empty nest. So it's it's like a whole identity shift that, for the past, so my son is 20. So for the past 20 years, this whole identity as a mother, and of course I'll always be a mother, and that doesn't change, but the whole being responsible. Now, Brad, you're a few years further down the line with me than this, so you're very wise when it comes to these matters. But and I think for me, something I've struggled with in the past is just that period of the unknown. I know that when I adjust, everything's fine, but it's just that period of the unknown. Can you relate? Or yeah, I'd love
Yeah,
to hear your words.
yeah, absolutely. And when you'd suggest this idea, it was new chapters in general, and this is certainly one of a huge chapter for those of us who are parents. Huge change. As I was telling Mel earlier, we were just in New York, and we had brought our kids over to be in New York with us, and our son lives in Cincinnati, and our daughter lives in Dublin, and it's the first time in I think 6 months since we've all been together, and we were talking about, wow, I mean, these two used to be with us every day. We used to feed you every day and dress you and take you to school, and it's all consuming, and then that ends. And they said, we're now several years past that. Our daughter's now 25, so it's been quite a few years that we've been empty nesters, and there is a period of adjustment, and so it's not just with empty nestings, with any kind of change that we have in life. uh, Changing jobs, moving to a new place, and maybe just changing a perception of yourself, going from, I think of myself as a loser to I think of myself as awesome. So it's what is this next chapter? And I know, Mel, you just posted about July. What's going to happen for you in July? And I love that you had the soundtrack of Pure Imagination to that. That's one of my favorite songs. It's one of the few songs I can play on the saxophone by memory. Um,
Love it.
but Yeah, so for everyone, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. With your eyes closed, just breathing comfortably, and allow yourself to be present, allowing yourself to be right here, right now, as present as possible, so as to receive maximum benefit from this hour. And just following your breath through your body, just allow yourself to be aware of what's going on in there, noticing what you're feeling physically and what you're feeling emotionally. Just checking in with how you're doing right now. And now allow yourself to think about some change. It could be a change that you are making happen, like moving to a new place or changing jobs. It could be a move that, a change that just happens naturally, like your kids growing up and leaving the nest. And just looking at that, and notice what you feel in your body. Notice what you feel physically, what you feel emotionally about this change. There may be sadness, there may be excitement, there may be guilt about any excitement. That's one of the things with empty nesting. It's like, I'm so excited and I feel so wrong about that. So, whatever the emotions are, not judging them, just getting curious about, what am I feeling about this change, or contemplating a change, this next chapter in my life, whether it's a huge new chapter or maybe just a slight adjustment, and allow yourself to be aware of what kind of feelings are coming up. Yeah. Notice the thoughts, beliefs, and memories that might be attached to those feelings. Just allow yourself to be present to whatever's showing up. Take a deep breath, open your eyes. And, Mel, just if you want to, Tybo's coming up, or if you want to just launch us into a tapping round, whatever you
Yeah,
feel
so
inspired to.
I think what was coming up for me was just the unknown. And yeah, so I think I'll start on that. even though
even though.
I'm entering this period of the unknown, of adjustment, of things not being the way they were. And that brings up so many emotions. There is sadness, there is uncertainty, because I've been living my life according to their timetable, their structures, and their routines. And I've slotted my life around theirs. And even though there's all this uncertainty, I know there's so much to look forward to, too. And I choose to love and honour all the parts of this journey and reframe the way I'm feeling right now. And even though it feels like I'm changing at an identity level, what is my identity now? There's uncertainty there too. But I'm also thinking about the next chapter. And I'm honouring all the feelings I have around this transition. And I choose to love and honour these feelings. And even though I've got no idea what's in store, I'm allowing all the feelings that I have around this to come up to the surface. And allowing whatever happens to be joyful, peaceful, and excitement. Okay, I'll go through the points. Allowing all these feelings to come up to the surface. Making peace with any stories that I might be telling myself. That I'm not needed anymore. All the worry that comes with it. Will they eat? Will they be able to look after themselves? But not just what's going to happen to them. What about me? I've allowed myself to be busy with them, to use them as an excuse for my busyness. Having to do things within certain times of the day and having a very strict schedule around my availability. So many things coming up to the surface. And I'm allowing it all to percolate, allowing myself to reframe this story of what comes next. As I turn the page on this book of life, allow myself to feel excited that I can write the next chapter. What do I want it to look like? What have I put on hold? What am I now available for? All this time and space I'm going to have, I get to choose what I write on the next chapter. And allowing myself to feel excited about that. Excited for the things that I've put on hold. Passions and hobbies and interests. Maybe getting more serious about my work. Maybe not treating it like a hobby anymore. What will I do with myself? The thing I'm going to allow myself to remember is that I get to decide. I get to choose. And I'm feeling really good about this. Ready for what's next. Okay, take a nice deep breath in. And just allowing, the thoughts and feelings to come up. And right now I feel pretty good actually. I've kind of tapped myself out of it.
And as Abraham Hicks says, feeling good is the most important thing.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. Not that it's wrong to not feel good,
No,
but there's so many benefits to feeling good. Oh,
it's good to
awesome.
feel good.
Awesome round. And yeah, giving ourselves permission to look at those feelings that are coming up and tapping while we do it so that we are processing those emotions rather than because when we don't allow ourselves to process that emotion, then we get stuck in certain patterns in certain places. And and so this just allows us that greater freedom to go, okay, this is okay. This is okay. Um, and yeah, like, it was just triggering a lot of things. So I have an idea here. So everyone go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath. And just taking a moment to process whatever might have come up and the shifts that you've had and the awarenesses that you might have had during that round. And being aware of any uncomfortable emotions that you might still have about this change, the fear, the doubt, sadness, whatever it might be. And none of those are wrong. There are no bad emotions, but just allowing yourself to consider the question, why should I feel those? Not that you're wrong for feeling them, but just allowing yourself to be aware of a sense that I should feel this. I should experience this discomfort. Just allow yourself to feel what goes on inside. Take a deep breath, open your eyes, and let's continue processing here. Even though I should feel this discomfort, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I should feel some discomfort, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though I should feel some discomfort, change is happening. That should come with some pain. Otherwise, I feel like I'm not doing it right. I'm allowed to feel some excitement, but that's only one of the things I'm allowed to feel. There's got to be some disappointment too, or some sadness, or some kind of pain. And even though I should feel some discomfort, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself, and maybe anyone else who's contributed to these beliefs, because I choose to feel that free. All this belief that I should feel discomfort. As I make this change, as I enter a new chapter, I have a lot of programming that tells me you can't just feel good. As I'm reading this book of life and I'm turning the page, I should feel sad about what I'm leaving behind. This has been a good chapter. Maybe I should just reread it again. Even though I know what happens, and part of me is excited to find out what happens next, I really like the familiarity of what's known. I think I'll re-enroll my kids in kindergarten. No, you're not going to college. I want what's familiar. Even the limitations, even the sacrifices that I've made, even the structure that I've had to adhere to. Part of me says that's preferable to the unknown. Maybe that's why I feel the discomfort. Maybe part of me is saying, if I can make this uncomfortable enough, I will stop this change from happening. And I'll go back to what's familiar. I'll play it safe. But if the change isn't uncomfortable, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to turn that page and deal with the consequences. And I don't know what they're all going to be. So part of me says, not feeling uncomfortable gives me too much freedom to get myself into all kinds of trouble. I know the challenges of this past chapter. And even though some of them were really difficult, and I didn't handle it all perfectly, I did handle it. I know that I can handle this with the possibilities that are opening up, I feel I don't have a guarantee that I can handle it. So clinging to some discomfort might be a way of keeping myself in my comfort zone. And part of me might just say, some discomfort is obligatory. If I just felt excited about my kids leaving, that might hurt their feelings. I guess you didn't love us, Mom. I'm leaving. I want you to feel bad about that. And maybe part of their ego wants me to feel bad. And there's nothing wrong with me feeling some sadness, but it's not required. And there isn't a certain amount that's required. And it doesn't mean I don't love them. Whatever change I'm making, whatever I'm leaving behind, if I do so joyfully, that doesn't mean that those past things weren't important. I can love people and places and things without having to feel discomfort. I'm giving myself permission to feel better. I'm giving myself permission to feel as good as possible. Not judging any uncomfortable emotions, just questioning whether I'm feeling them because I should, and clearing that should. I'm not going to should on myself. I'm not going to let anybody else should on me. So I'm setting myself free to feel more and more excited in body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, go inside, and just check out what's going on in there. And feel free to comment in the chat whatever might be coming up, what thoughts you might be having about, next chapter, whether that's empty nesting or whatever you personally might be going through or contemplating going through. What's going on for you, Mel?
There's this whole sense of the redefining myself, and I'm not sure
You'd
what.
mentioned identity in the first round, and I'd thought about, okay, the next round that I want to do is about identity. But then the should feel discomfort felt more important. I didn't want to try to. It's like I'm not going to do both topics in one. We'll stick to one. But we're on the same page there. It's like the identity is a huge thing.
Yeah, and it is, because you have that huge identity shift when you become a parent, and
Oh yeah.
it's like, bloody hell, what happened there? And it's like overnight, like, and but then it evolves. It really evolves. I went out with my kids last week. We had a lovely night out, and it was just like, and then we actually had, I was kind of like having a conversation with them, but with myself, just like, do I miss you more when you were like babies and toddlers, or do I prefer you at the age you are now? And I'm like, this it's a close call. It's a really close call that I've loved it then and I love it now. And who knows maybe I'll be lucky enough to be a grandparent in the future, that there's that possibly to come. So it is that whole like different identities. And but I think for me really it's kind of I've defined myself as a mother, and again, as I said, I will be, and again, I want to keep it this open for people who, aren't going through this, or perhaps, aren't even parents, that, and maybe I think the other big identity shift for me was when I left corporate world, and then I started working for myself, this identity as a business owner. So that was one, and from being a married person to being a single parent, another big identity shift. So for me, it's just like, well, what's the next chapter going to be called? What do I call this? Just like it's just like, was it the awakening, or the remembering, the remembrance, remembering who I was before. I
Yes.
don't know. I'm just rambling now.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I follow you on Instagram, so I know that you have not allowed yourself that you have not allowed yourself any fun up
Oh,
until now.
no, I am in a relationship. Yeah, I am in a relationship, but
And there are amazing places that you've gone to and events that you've done in really cool
we,
places. So
yeah,
now just more of that.
yes, absolutely more of that. So yeah, no, so I am in this whole. Maybe we could tap on that, or I could do the next tarot and tapping on
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
is the next chapter going to be called. And I guess for anyone else, just the invitation that we all go through, mini chapters within the chapters, just as Brad said, new month, new chapter, new year, birthdays, all new chapters. So I
New
guess
hour.
meditation.
Oh, another client coming up in an hour.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a totally new, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
minute by minute.
I guess the invitation to everyone is, what do you want your next chapter to be called? So I'm going to be thinking about this myself as I tap as well. So, okay. So if I could rewrite my story from here, what would the next chapter be called? Allowing myself to explore this topic. What would my next chapter be called? Maybe there's a chapter that I've been thinking of that I haven't quite been able to put into words. Maybe the next chapter is adventurous. Maybe the next chapter is more peaceful. Maybe the next chapter has more personal growth. I'm allowing myself to explore the possibilities of what this next chapter could be called. And even though there's part of me that's resisting this, has fears and anxiety about this, I'm honoring those feelings too. And I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept all the feelings that are coming up around this next chapter. What is this next chapter going to be called? Because I know what the other chapters look like. This book's been pretty epic so far. There's been a whole lot of drama. There's been heartache. There have been many tears. But there's been lots of joy and fun too. I'm so grateful for all the chapters I've lived so far. But what is the next chapter going to be called? What would I like the next chapter to look like? What are going to be the themes of this chapter? Definitely fun, definitely joy. Let's throw in success and abundance too. With friends and laughter, connection, and a whole lot of inner peace. Calling in so many ingredients for this exciting new chapter. I'm ready for this. Ready to see what's available, but ready to allow myself to put some intention into it. Excited to see what this could look like. I'm ready for this next chapter of this epic story of mine. And allowing myself to telling myself that it just gets better from here. Better and better every day and in every way. Okay, so another deep breath in and exhale. Okay, so how was that for
Very
you, Brad?
cool. Very cool. Thank you.
I apologise for the background noise. I've got no idea whose phone that was. It's not mine.
Didn't even notice.
Oh, good. Okay.
Didn't even notice. Awesome. Awesome. So everyone go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And just allow yourself to, be aware of what came up during that. Thinking about that new chapter, what you want that chapter to look like. Now, maybe you have it on a vision board of what this is what my next chapter looks like. Imagine yourself in that next chapter. So as you create, what is that next chapter? What do I want this next chapter to look like? Because you are the author of your life. Other people have input, but ultimately you are the author of your life. Imagine what that looks like, what you'd like it to look like. Put yourself in that picture, and now imagine a full-length mirror and see yourself as the lead character in this book. And as you imagine what you want this next chapter to look like, notice if it feels like, but that's not, to create that is not the person who I've been. So going to that question of identity, and how you've identified yourself in the past based on these past experiences, these past chapters. You know, if it's being a mom, it's like, okay, but now I'm still a mom, but now I'm not a full-time mom. Whatever whatever you have, however you have identified yourself, and looking at the chapter that you'd like to write, and notice any feelings of that's going to require somebody different, or it means losing part of myself. So there may be a sense of I don't have what it takes. There may be a sense of I will be losing something. And I feel sad about not being that person anymore. Just allowing yourself to think about this question of identity, who you're going to be, who you're no longer going to be, and notice any discomfort that you feel physically or emotionally. Notice any thoughts, beliefs, or memories that contribute to that from your own experience or for things that people have told you. Yeah. Open your eyes, take a deep breath. Even though I've got questions about this next chapter, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I've got questions about this next chapter, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though I've got questions about this next chapter. I mean, I get to write it, but I don't know everything yet. And it's going to be different. And maybe I'll need to be different. And I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that. And even though I've got questions about this next chapter, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anyone else who might be involved, because I choose to be that free. All these questions about this next chapter, all this uncertainty about this next chapter. And one of the biggest questions is who will I be? Because the previous chapters have defined me. Maybe more than was necessary. Because ultimately, we're not defined by our past or our circumstances, but we've been taught to feel that way. Because human beings love to categorize things. But as Soren Kierkegaard said, when you label me, you negate me. So I'm giving myself permission to release the past labels that have felt limiting. When I look at past chapters and say, oh, this means that I was that. That's who I was. That's how I should see myself. And that rules out some opportunities or makes me question what I can do. The identity that I've had, the identity that I have accepted, has allowed me to handle what I was going through. It might not work in the next chapter. And I may feel really bad about what I'm letting go of. Maybe there are parts of my identity that I feel that I will lose. And is that true? Even as an empty nester, I'm still going to be a parent. Whatever the change is that I'm going through, who I am is not changing, at least not at the core. Because my one true identity, though I may word it differently, is that I am a magnificent child of the universe, worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer, and capable of amazing things. Any other identity is just details. And even though some of those details change, the core of who I am doesn't change. I'm releasing what no longer serves me. And I'm embracing what does serve me. And I'm allowing myself to know that I can handle it. Turning this new page feels like I'm letting go of parts of my identity. It also means putting th- it also means taking things on. Like when I became a parent. And I got a lot of questions about these changes. And as human beings, we often feel uncomfortable when there are questions. And I'm processing this discomfort. I've got what it takes to handle this. I get to describe what the lead character looks like. I choose to be very generous in that description. I'm writing this new chapter. I am defining the lead character. And I'm being very loving in that process. Processing all the emotions that might be coming up, including any sense of loss. All is fear of what I'm losing. I'm excited about the things that are coming. And I have some discomfort about what I'm letting go of. Maybe not all of it, but definitely some of it. And I'm processing any feelings of loss, including any sense of loss about my identity. I've got this. I can handle this. I can even feel awesome about it. I choose to be open to the possibility that I'm not losing anything that I needed. And that's part of the identity thing. The identity that I had might feel threatened because of the things that I'm losing, because of the changes that are happening. But that was just a limited identity. I'm not letting go of anything that I needed. There might be things that I enjoyed, but there will be other things that I enjoy. When I'm enjoying a really good meal, I don't have to limit that enjoyment by missing the really good meal I had a few days ago. Yeah, I was at a really great restaurant last week. And this restaurant's really great. But I need to take a moment to feel bad about not being at that other restaurant. And I love and appreciate those parts of me that play all these games with me. And I'm processing whatever I need to process. And as much as possible, releasing what doesn't feel like peace, releasing what doesn't feel like love. As I set myself free to move forward in body, mind, and spirit. And take a deep breath and let it go. Close your eyes, go inside, and just thinking about the changes that you want to make, what you want your next chapter to look like, allowing yourself to imagine yourself in that new chapter. Maybe looking in a full length mirror and seeing that person, that lead character in this new chapter. Hopefully that feels more exciting, more inviting, more joyful. And again, nothing wrong if there are still feelings of, yeah, but again, there's nothing wrong with feeling other uncomfortable emotions. Just getting to that place of, you know, emotional freedom is the freedom to feel what you want to feel. It's not that you can't feel other things. It's just giving yourself that permission to say, okay, you know what? I want to sit here and reminisce about the past. And that might bring up some feelings of what I miss and changes about who I am. But I get to choose how long I do that. And there's no obligation to do it for any length of time or at all. So that you can be more fully present in the next chapter. As you're reading a book and you're reading a new chapter and you wouldn't want to read. Meanwhile, the lead character was still thinking 3 chapters back and feeling bad about like, I've already read those chapters. I want to be here in this one. And take a deep breath, open your eyes. And feel free to put comments in there. And someone who goes to sleep with one of your goodnight sleeping videos every night. Um, um, yeah, thoughts, comments, questions.
That was wonderful. Loved that. Yeah, and it does. It's always like, even though, you know, I know that when I tap, it's always, when I tap with someone else or I'm led by somebody else, it just brings up a whole, it, it gets you out of your own head of thinking about what's,
Yeah.
you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, just
We have our own blinders.
yes, I feel excited about, just actually after this, putting some pen to paper and actually doing what said and what we've been talking about. Actually, what do we want? And I think a lot of people go through life just reacting to what happens,
Yeah.
not realizing that we are actually the creators and we can create the reaction.
Yeah.
So rather than just sitting back, think, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. Think, well, what would I like to happen?
Yeah.
And
Thinking about
um,
what other people, how other people reacted. How did my parents deal with being empty nesters? Well, that's the way I should do it. Or how did my friends do it? Or whatever. Yeah, and letting someone else write our story. It's like, yeah, I don't know
yeah,
what to write, so you write it. You tell me how it's going to play out.
yeah, and we have so much more control than we realize, so much more power than we realize over, you know, what we want to do with this amazing life that we have. And it reminds me of one of my favorite songs, Natasha Bedingfield. The song's called Unwritten.
Unwritten. Oh, I
And
love that song. Yes.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just I can't remember, think of the rest is left unwritten. So it's up to
Yeah.
you to write. It's literally what we've been talking about. So I think we have to go listen to that as well.
Yeah. Yes. If you, for anyone who's never heard that song, Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten. Ah, yeah.
It's a great, great song.
I think when I first time I heard it, I tried to reach. I was like, I want to reach out to her. I wanted to say, look, I want to do a tapping video based on this
Yeah,
song.
it is I'm glad you feel the same way. Yeah, an amazing song. So yeah, everyone go and have a listen to
Yeah,
Natasha Bedingfield.
I might have done a video. I can't
Have
remember.
you?
I don't 1,600 videos. I don't remember what I've done.
Oh, I'm
Um,
way behind you. I've got a bit of catching up to do.
well, you got some free time on your hands now.
I do. Damn it, that's what I should do.
The next chapter is the YouTube chapter. I'm going to catch up to Brad on YouTube.
Oh, never catch up to Brad. Oh
You're a lot
dear.
younger than I am. You got time. You started earlier than I did.
Only
Um,
only one dragon year less, I think, isn't it? We're both dragons.
there you go. So you got 12 years there. I've only been on YouTube just over that. So anyhow, as I told you before, and and a lot of folks who get on events with me, I always like to end a session with a guided imagery. So we'll do that, and so I know that some folks that'll probably take us that will definitely take us past the hour. So for anyone who had only structured an hour for yourself to be with us, then feel free to jump off the call at any time, and this will be posted on my YouTube channel, and uh, and so you can come back and do the guided imagery later if you'd like to, but I will close out with a guided imagery. Um, and so go ahead and get yourselves comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. Another deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. A third deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. Now, just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed, go ahead and imagine that with each breath you take in, you breathe in relaxation and positive energy. Go ahead and imagine a healing light of whatever color you like surrounding your body so that with each breath you take in, your lungs comfortably draw in that healing light, allowing it to flow through every muscle, nerve, fiber, tissue, cell, and atom of your body. Imagine a healing shower flowing down, crystal clear water that's a perfect temperature as it flows over the top of your head, soothing and relaxing your scalp, washing away fear, doubt, anxiety, washing away anger, sadness, guilt, shame, washing away pain, frustration, disappointment, embarrassment, washing these away to reveal the light that you truly are, this unique expression of divine light and love, allowing more and more of that light to be revealed as that healing shower flows over your forehead, relaxing the muscles in your face, flowing down over the back of your head, your neck, your shoulders, washing away tension, leaving your shoulders calm, comfortable, and relaxed. That healing shower flowing down your arms, all the way down over your fingertips, down over your chest and your stomach, soothing and relaxing, healing and cleansing. And allowing yourself to remain comfortably in whatever position you choose. Allow that healing shower to flow down over your upper and lower back. And as your torso relaxes, your internal organs comfortably do whatever they need to do to achieve and maintain your optimal level of health and well being in body, mind, and spirit. As that healing shower continues down over your body, down over your hips and your thighs, over your knees, down your lower legs, through your ankles, into your feet. And finally, that relaxation flows over your toes as you allow yourself to relax twice as much, going at least twice as deep with each number as I count backwards 5, drifting down to 4, floating down to 3, 2, 1, and 0 is deep sleep. Remembering that each and every time you hear me say the words deep sleep, with your permission and only with your permission, you allow yourself to return to this depth or even deeper, 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 quickly, soundly, deeply. And the physical body relaxes, and with that relaxation comes a wonderful sense of calm well-being of body and mind. Deeper, deeper. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 is deep sleep. And in this calm, comfortable state of mind and body, go ahead and imagine yourself in some really beautiful place. Really beautiful place, allowing yourself to be present to the beauty, the magnificence, the abundance of creation, remembering that it is here for you as much as anyone else. You are a magnificent child of the universe, worthy and deserving of the best this life has to offer. And in this beautiful place, go ahead and imagine that a little ways off is a new place to experience, a new chapter, and there's a stream running down between you and this next meadow or forest or whatever it might be. Just imagine where you are, and then across the stream is the next adventure. And this is your imagination, so you get to decide what it looks like. And some of it, because it's a ways off, might be fuzzy. You can't see everything. You know, it won't be until you get there that you'll discover some things that you can't see from this side of the stream. And just allow yourself to be present to those questions, those doubts, nervousness, fear, whatever it might be. And allowing yourself to look at what's here on this side of the stream and noticing what feelings you might have about, well, there's this here that doesn't seem to be over there on the other side of the stream. And just allow yourself to feel a very loving light flowing through your body, healing and cleansing, and allowing yourself to process all of these different feelings that might be coming up. Not judging any of these feelings, just acknowledging them and processing them as much as possible. There's no obligation to make any change in how you feel, just giving yourself permission to feel more peace if possible, such that you allow yourself greater freedom to now go to that stream, that transition from one chapter to the next, that turning the page, and just step into that stream. And you get to decide how deep it is. And allow yourself to recognize as you walk through a stream, you know, it'll wash away dirt, but it doesn't wash away anything that you need. So going through that stream and Again, allowing the water to come up as high as you like, and allowing it to wash away what no longer serves you. But knowing that it doesn't wash everything away, it allows you to keep whatever is important as you move through and you come out on the other side, feeling cleansed, feeling ready, feeling excited, allowing yourself to know you've got this. Whatever changes there are, you have what it takes, not only to handle it, but to make the most of it. Giving yourself permission to decide that this next chapter is going to be awesome. You will experience wonderful things, you will feel great feelings, and you will become an even better version of yourself. Feeling yourself as you step out of that stream, stepping into even more of your potential. Allow yourself to be excited about all the great things that await you, and allowing yourself to feel good about how that benefits other people as well. Feeling that excitement, feeling confident that you can handle this. Let's go even deeper now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 0 is deep sleep. In a moment, I'll count you back out from 0 up to 5. 5 will be wide awake, alert, focused, and energetic, feeling much better than before. Feeling much more confident in yourself. Feeling excited about what's coming. Confidently holding that pen in your hand as you write this next chapter. And allowing yourself to be very generous with yourself in how awesome it is. Tonight, when you choose to go to sleep, don't be surprised when you fall asleep quickly, soundly, deeply, and sleep very well to the night. During the night, you'll dream. The more you dream, the stronger you become. I'm going to ask your unconscious mind to allow at least one of your dreams to be a very healing dream. Continuing this healing process in body, mind, and spirit so that in the morning, at the time you've chosen to wake up, you wake up easily, feeling refreshed, energetic, and ready to start the day, again, powerfully moving forward into an ever more joyful experience of an ever greater abundance of health, wealth, happiness, and love, which are your birthright and which benefit others. Now go back down to 0, which is always deep sleep, allowing your mind, body, and spirit to digest all of these positive thoughts and images, taking them in at a very deep level so that these positive changes occur easily, effortlessly, and naturally. Coming up to 1, feeling physically relaxed. 2, feeling emotionally calm and confident. 3, health and well-being, enthusiasm, love, joy, and gratitude flowing through every muscle, nerve, fiber, tissue, cell, and atom of your body. 4, becoming more and more alert and aware of your surroundings. And 5 is eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. And welcome back. And thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Mel, for coming and sharing your gifts and talents with everyone here in this way.
Thank you, Brad. It's been wonderful, really lovely. Always a pleasure to tap with you. And I hope everyone who watched enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for setting yourselves free to write an awesome next chapter because it'll benefit countless others as you do. And we'll see you next time. All right. Love you guys. Bye bye.